welcome to my channel. If you guys are new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to share. Today I'm going to be talking about natal Pluto through the houses. Now, I'm not going to give you guys a description of what Pluto is. If you want to go look that up, you can look that up on either Google or YouTube, because I'm sure somebody else can give you a good description of what Pluto is and the background history of what Pluto does. I'm just going to dive right into it and get right into each house for what Pluto does once it touches that particular house. I still want to thank everyone that keeps continuing to comment down below in the description box below. Please share your experience. It not only helps me, but it helps others. We are all trying to relate all on the same path, and we're all trying to come to some type of understanding for our well-being. All right, let's get started. Natal Pluto in the 7th house. Now, if you have natal Pluto in the 7th house, the lesson for you is learning how to work together with others while balancing the relationships. The obsession is here. You guys want harmonious relationships, wanting desperately to also at the same time trying to maintain them. Pluto in the 7th house has to first acknowledge the fear and betrayal, and working through these trust issues allows them in the end have forgiveness for themselves and learning how to become a better person in relationships. Pluto in the 7th house has a strong fear of losing their partners, and you guys can be very jealous in relationships. You are attracted to very dominant, strong personalities, and maybe even more attracted to somebody that has maybe Pluto in the 1st house or rising sign in Scorpio. This can display, in other words, friendships, close business partners, or in partners that you guys seek out. You guys crave and want intimacy, deep intimacy with an individual, but you guys always have in the back of your mind that sense of fear of betrayal and trust issues with people. That's why you can never fully give yourself 110%, because you always have the fear of that person maybe breaking that trust within that relationship that you're in. You guys have the power. It's all within yourself. Do not play victim, okay? Also, with Pluto in the 7th house, you guys have to have a good reputation, because there could be secrets that can come to the light and be shown, and that can ruin it and tarnish your reputation. You guys want success, okay, in relationships. But through these relationships, you will also learn that you guys will go through deep healing, transformational periods that will allow you to heal yourself. These are learning experiences. You may even go through the most traumatic experience that you could ever imagine. But when you go through it from beginning and to end, there's always a learning lesson that you will, obtain from that relationship. Don't let anybody control you. You have the power within yourself to not only control who you are, but also take control over your life. Natal Pluto in the 8th house. If you have natal Pluto in the 8th house, Scorpio rules this 8th house. So that's the natural placement for Scorpio to be. It's like literally being home. So this is a very intense placement. Your ultimate power will be through traumatic experiences, and through pain and crisis. You have the ability to help others through hardships. No matter what the difficulties that a natal Pluto in the 8th house is going through, they will always help you because of what they went through. You face a lot of challenges in your life, a lot of hardship in your life. Pluto in the 8th house has an obsession and interest with the occult, death, witchcraft, and they love horror movies, gory movies. Ugh. I don't like watching horror movies at all, but that's a Pluto in the 8th house thing. You have a deep fascination with death, but at the same time, you could be curious, but also you could be scared too. Sexuality you may have traumatic experience or traumatic, painful experience around sexuality. You could have an obsession with sex. You want to look at your Mars and your Saturn too, because you also can have maybe an obsession over violence. You want to be very dominant in your relationship. You want to have ultimate control in the relationship. And you don't want to appear weak or vulnerable in intimacy. People that have Pluto in the 8th house, you cannot fool these people. I tell you this, okay? Because they can see through you. It's very transparent. And I mean like literally see through you. Like they're literally looking and analyzing your soul. That's how deep it is. And you may have deep-seated secrets that only you know, and you will not reveal it to just anybody. You really got to know this person, and I literally mean like you got to trust this person with your life to really even reveal your secrets. You might even have Natal Pluto in the 8th house may have, you may even have wealth. You may be born into wealth, but you know there's always a catch. You don't even know if maybe you could have issues where you're arguing constantly over money. You may even get down to a point where maybe you're in situations where you're inheriting money. And there's always some type of power over money. Power for you, deep transformation through traumatic, painful experiences. But I find it that Pluto in the 8th house, to me, I commend you, like with all my heart, because these people go through a lot of hardship, you know, a lot of really bad traumatic experiences. It gets down to the point where they experience so much where it's like some people couldn't even be able to handle it. I'm telling you, literally, because of what they go through, so much of they could be molested. They could either be abused. It's so painful where people literally, I would think some people literally would commit suicide. But only a Pluto in the 8th house literally can handle it. I commend you for your strength, you know, your courage to be able to go through these experiences. It's very hard for them to deal with this. And I love the fact that even though you guys go through traumatic experiences, you guys are also willing to help others through their deep-seated issues and problems. I love that about that you can help others. And these people also know that they could also go through situations where life, death, near experiences where they're almost near the brink of being put in situations where they almost died. That's even more scary and more just like at life where it's like, wow, I could have lost my life right there and then. But you know what? Again, resilience. And through that, you know, situation, it always, throughout their lifetime, it's like power. But they'll learn over a period of time that they'll have a sense of power. And I love that about them. Pluto in the 8th house rocks. Native Pluto in the 9th house. Now, if you have native Pluto in the 9th house, you are a powerful thinker and you have deep transformation. You want to go through and experience deep adventures, and that can either be through learning many different topics, through religion, foreign religion, philosophy. You have the obsession over belief systems. Your mind is very deep. You question the world, you know, like what and how the world really works. You want to know what it is and what things are. There's a lot of questions on how and what everything is. When you are studying something, Pluto in the 9th house, you guys do not want to study something that is very superficial, something that is just above the surface. You are wanting to do research. You want to do a deep dive underneath the surface of whatever you're studying, because you want to get down to the inner truth and you want to get down to the core of the matter, finding out what is the true essence of the material that you are researching and uncovering. You want to find out how things are connected, you know, because things, in a way, when you're researching and finding anything that's connected, you want to find some type of inner truth with it. Now, you can easily spot some inconsistency. You can easily spot inconsistencies and belief systems, and you very well will question the matter of it. You've always also questioned as a child, probably growing up, like mom or father, why is this happening, or why is that happening, and why is the government doing this, or why is that religion doing that? You've always not accepted no for an answer, but you wanting to understand the truth about the behind background of how things evolve and how they come to be. Sometimes Pluto in the 9th house, you are forced to change your viewpoints. And it's through deep transformation and through traumatic events. You are very reluctant to see new ideals, and you sometimes can reject your own way of where where you were born. Maybe where you were born just wasn't accepting. Maybe where you were born you just didn't feel like. Maybe there was a reason or a cause behind it. You didn't feel like it was the truth of something. You guys have this obsession with your own beliefs, and I feel like sometimes you fail to see that other people have different perspectives in life, different belief systems, different religions, and you feel like your belief system is probably the most accurate. But try to be more open to other people's viewpoint, other people's opinions. People are free to believe what they want. This is America. If you live in another world of another country, I still feel like you're free to speak what you want to say what you want to say. So try not to have a closed mindset towards only your inner beliefs. Have a mindset of being open to others, because you never know, like, because of you wanting to know the truth, somebody could teach you something that you didn't even know. Native Pluto in the 10th house. Now, if you have native Pluto in the 10th house, you guys are going to go through power struggles in your professional life and in relationship with authority figures. You are very ambitious and very motivated to get to the top of the career ladder. You guys work extremely hard. And when I mean hard, you work harder than anyone else. It's because of your career, your public persona. You guys may even have jobs that could be being a psychologist, a researcher, a doctor that does surgery, politics, an FBI agent, or things that can be hidden from the public. You could be a criminal or a detective. You guys in your public persona and career sector, you guys are going to be helping, healing people, healing others. You may even, because of having that Pluto in the 10th house, may be viewed publicly as weird, strange, and also mysterious. You guys go through deep transformation through recreating your public persona. You will go through many ups and downs through your career. There could be times where you may get a job, lose a job suddenly, and you may have a career and then also not have a career and then feel like maybe you were a cook or something. Or maybe you feel like you were a cook for so many years, then all of a sudden now I can't be a professional cook. Now I have to become maybe a beautician and do hair. I'm just using examples, but that wouldn't be something related towards maybe a Pluto in the 10th house, but I'm just using it. It's a drastic change, a complete 180. You're like literally reinventing yourself inside and out, but the public will view you in different perspective and different viewpoints every time. Through going through this, it's always a transformational process. And also to note, if you have Pluto in the 10th house, you could have an authority figure. You're always going to have these power struggles, either at, work, if you're dealing with boss or any type of person that's going to challenge you. If you feel like something is injustice, you are going to speak up. You are going to say something. Make it seem like you have a purpose, make it seem like to that other person, I'm going to direct you. If something's wrong, something is wrong and it needs to be right. You guys are constantly, even as maybe I would want to say Pluto in the 10th house, you may have these power struggles with your own parents, maybe a mom or father. Maybe your mom and father could have been very overbearing, very controlling, always strict, trying to tell you what to do. You're going to have these power struggles. But with Pluto in the 10th house, no matter what you guys do in life, you guys will reap success, and over the year you will become very mature and wise and knowledgeable about your career, and people will always look up to you as being very professional in a boss type way and being very powerful. Native Pluto in the 11th house. If you have natal Pluto in the 11th house, friendships will always bring change and transformation. These people are obsessed with the desire to be part of a group, but struggle with still maintaining and wanting a self-individuality and still try to maintain their individual independency within themselves, their own self-identity. You like being around people that are very intense, and it's possible that growing up you could have been bullied or even shamed, and as a result you were an outcast. If you find the true essence of who you are as a being, then you will be able to connect with others in groups. Native Pluto and the 11th house, you guys are obsessed with people and how people work and how people function in society. This allows you to have a better understanding within yourself. And in the process, again, you go through deep transformation that allows change within your life. Growing up, it could have been very hard for you to socialize with other people. You not being able to connect with other people, on socializing with this group, that group, multiple groups. It could have been very hard for you to start that or initiate it. At times, you can be very intense. And because of you being, very intense, people have a hard time to connecting with you, understanding you, and even in friendship relationships. Sometimes people just don't understand you. It's like a complete question mark. And sometimes people, when they do see that intensity, sometimes people just can't handle it, or they just don't want any part of it. It's really hard for you to build and maintain relationships. And sometimes if people it's hard for you to trust people in friendship relationships, because if they break your trust, You literally put walls up all around you. It's hard for you to really have a friend, because once something happens to you with that individual friend, it's not easy for you to trust others. You need to be able to create a sense of balance among others and among your social group of friends. You are always gonna be, in a way, and this may not be forever, but probably through maybe your 20s, 30s, or whatever, at some point, maybe growing up as a teenager, you could have felt like you were always alone. You felt like you were a loner, and you could never fit into society standards for friendship relationships. Deep down inside, you always feel like, I'm by myself. It's always me or nobody else. But you will find transformation through connecting with others through group dynamics. And through this, over time, you will build a sense of wisdom, power, and it will allow you to heal yourself. You might have friends that are very jealous and very envious of you and very manipulating, and only see the only interests in getting you in trouble all the time. These people might not have good interests, you know, beforehand when you initially meet them, and then after you figure out they weren't good friends. And again, I bring it back to the trust issues. You know, once they break your trust, you're not easily to allow people to welcome back into your life as far as friends. You may even have friendship relationships that are very top secret and secret only you know, that you don't tell anybody else. Or you may even have secrets that you are literally joining a group, a secret society group that's very secret and top secret, where nobody else knows anything about it. When you find who you are as your identity, then you can be able to connect with others. By connecting with multiple other peoples from different dynamic groups and society in this world, then you can ultimately understand who you are as a human being. Native Pluto in the 12th house. Whew, let's go. Okay, if you have native Pluto in the 12th house, it's very you have a restriction on finding your own power, and whatever that restriction is on you being able to seek and find, it requires a lot of work in developing self-awareness within you. This placement can indicate escapism and loss of touch with reality. I don't know if anybody else is doing drugs with Pluto in the 12th house. Maybe that's the reason why they're in another altered mental state. But that's just a possibility. But again, look at your aspects in astrology. It's possible that you guys have deep insight into the spiritual world. You have to face your fears when you're in Pluto in the 12th house. You're literally going to have to face your fears, because a lot of your fears can be based on it's more in your mind. It's more on an unconscious, subconscious level. You may even have hidden enemies, and you may even be the enemy yourself if you don't deal with issues and problems, psychological problems that you have. If you don't deal with it at hand, it can lead towards self-destructive behavior as an adult. You need a lot of privacy. Pluto in the 12th house, you need a lot of privacy. It's very important and you value it the most. I believe that Pluto in the 12th house would benefit from seeing maybe a psychiatrist or a psychologist, a hypnotherapist. These would be so good if you can't find your power, if you went through somebody raping you, or you went through situations where you were abused as a child, and as a result of that, you have issues with your self-esteem, issues with your sexuality, things that you can't seem to understand the reason why it is. you can use these outlook towards these therapeutic therapies that can help you, especially if you go under hypnosis. You probably can go under hypnosis and they probably can find a deep-seated reason why you may have nightmares, or the reason why you don't accept your true sexuality. And going to a psychiatrist, you don't know, you may have bipolar, or you may have multiple personalities. And I'm talking about that, I remember there was a movie, actress played Sally Field and Sybil. It was a really good movie to watch, and this kind of reminds me of something related towards Pluto in the 12th house. The fact that it goes to show that Sybil was physically and mentally abused to the extreme. And because of her going through those traumatic experiences, she had to create altars to cope with reality. It was a coping mechanism. Each altar would be able to basically shield the mind. I think that there's only so much a human being can deal with as far as so much trauma for the mind to handle. So it was very interesting to find out. Pluto in the 12th house, you could have been abused emotionally or physically as a child, and you probably suppressed that. You don't realize that it really plays a mind effect on you, because as a child you could have been growing up and you could have been told hurtful things that hurt your self-esteem as an adult. Pluto in the 12th house, please do not bottle up your emotions. If you need to express something, do it through a creative outlook or some type of exercising. But please write something, express something. Do not let your emotions, don't bottle your emotions up. Let it be expressed. Pluto in the 12th house, this is just a lot of things where I feel like if you have any secrets that you feel like you're hiding, if you want to understand what's going on within yourself, then seek the help that you need to, so that you can find the power, the reason why things are the way they are. You could have anxiety problems. Seek help. Go to a cognitive therapy. You know, maybe they can figure out the reason it all started. I'm very all go for psychologists, hypnotherapists, psychiatrists. They can help you. You know, they can help you, whatever demons that you're rattling inside, whatever things that you need to find out, you know, whatever secrets that you're hiding, or whatever obsessions that you guys have that you're hiding, you know what I mean, or nightmares. Why are you having nightmares? Why can't you sleep? Why do you feel that you have low self-esteem? What caused for you to have this low self-esteem? It's more of on a psychological matter. And for you to find this, you need to talk to something with psychologists, you know, hypnotherapy. They will be able to find whatever hidden secrets or whatever things that you can't uncover in reality. You'll have to find it in your subconscious or conscious mind.